This is my Territory Locked Ironman. In addition to being completely free to play and being unable to access player trading or the marketplace and its storage, I'm also completing each and every territory that Black Desert has to offer, one zone at a time. I'll be tackling some of Black Desert's hardest monster zones, all with limited gear and resources. The goal? To complete all knowledge, titles, and quests BDO has to offer. Welcome back to another episode of Black Desert Online Territory Locked Ironman. Some of you also might be wondering, I was using the Dream Horse in the last episode for a little bit. I have decided that the Dream Horse is not in spirit with this Ironman, this Territory Locked Ironman, so we are not going to be using it. In fact, we are not going to be using it at all. I would sell it, but it's going to give us silver, and I would rather not. So it's just going to sit in Velia, and we are never going to touch it again. So before we get started and going into Serendia and starting, I have been AFKing a bit since the last video. I am currently skilled 6 in fishing. I'm professional 3 in farming. I'm almost professional in training. This is going to be super useful for me for getting some horses up. We are going to go and get a horse at some point here in the future. And we are going to open these boxes. So let's see what we can get from this golden box. And we got a treasure box. That is pretty solid. Okay, let's see what we can get. No cheer. We got some hards. We got 80. Okay, that's pretty solid. I will definitely need those, so not too mad. Okay, we got a chest of rarities. That is pretty good. Let's see what we can get from this. No cheer. We got 500 ancient spirit dust. Okay. I'm not going to need that for a while, but that's not too bad either. That will come in handy in the future. So, all in all, not too bad. Oh, we also have this storage made. So let's use that. That is quite good. We have 4 storage maids now. That's, as you can see, we have no central market storage maids because those are completely useless. But now we have those 4 storage maids. Another thing I'd like to point out here is this brilliant fairy wings. This came from a daily login reward. I do have it here, but I cannot go to Media Territory or Medaya, so we can't even use this at this point. So we're just going to be holding on to it until we can actually go to Medaya. So that means we are not going to have a ferry until we hit Medaya. Along with the Dream Horse, I was also using this Capotia ring. I have kind of slightly modified the rules. This counts as a piece of catchup gear, which is not allowed in this challenge, so we are not going to be using this either. Originally, I had planned to try and use the Tet Black Star from level 61 and the Tet Capotia ring, getting this up to pen for trying to grind out Sakraya, but I don't think that's in the spirit of this challenge either. And even with those upgrades, it's still very difficult to even hit those caps that we're trying to hit. So we are not going to be using this either. It's not going to leave. In fact, we are just going to delete it right away. One thing to note from the previous episode before we get started and going into Serendia is Um, some of you might be asking, why aren't you doing Prodi Cave and Sakraya? Well, while I can get to Prodi Cave relatively reasonably, Prodi Cave, even though the recommended AP was lowered, requires 240 AP. Now, in order for me to hit these kind of AP caps in this zone, it would require me to farm the current field bosses as much as possible to get a Zarka and Kudum, main hand and offense, respectively, get those up to pen, get the Caphras level on the Zarka up to level 20, and then on top of that, get both these Tungrad rings up to pen. And while that is technically possible, I feel like that is kind of out of the spirit of this challenge, at least for now. So, for all of the ocean content that we have in the game, which also includes Pirate Island and Paddocks, I will be doing these zones at a later date, and just coming back to the ocean content later. Another thing that you might be asking while we are just about to be going into Serendia is, what do we do about the Elvia zones? Well, I don't know yet. I don't know if they're possible. I would hope or try, but I don't think that there's actually going to be a way, just like Sakraya is, to be able to get those pieces. The only boss that we actually have access to in Serendia now is going to be Zarka. And on top of that, we don't even have our awakening weapon or succession. So we are stuck using pre-awakening, which is going to make some of those AP caps even harder to hit at this point. So for at least Serendia and maybe Calpheon, I am not sure that we will actually end up doing the Elvia zones until later. But for now, we will keep that on a maybe at this point. So if we can figure out a way to make that work, then I would be more than happy to grind those zones and get everything that there is. Otherwise, we are just going to move on and take these monster zones probably just one level at a time until we finally get over to like Catfish and actually start getting some actual drops, and even in the future going for Star's End in Calpheon, which at this point I do think that it should be possible with Witch's Earrings. For now, that's why we're not going to be doing Prodi. That's why we're not going to be doing Sakraya. We're not going to be touching any sea content until we get to that release point for that content. We are now in Serendia. I started off going around and, as usual, picked up some quests and talked to some NPCs. I started off at the Northern Guard camp before making my way over to the Alejandro farm. Starting to acquire some knowledge in Serendia. This is great.
It is I, the owner of this mess. Are you willing to help? I am just envious of shepherds.
Wants us to grab him 5 pumpkins, so we will do that. Is there titles for pumpkin ghosts? Nope. No titles for pumpkin ghosts? Let's go. I don't have to do these. That's nice. What a weird quest. That is the strangest quest. I really wonder how many people actually completed that. Probably. I'm sure there's plenty of people. Just called Beehive. Oh, beehives did have knowledge. They count as insects. cobwebs, conch parasitic bees, big bush spiders, acid spider dens, spiders. Okay. S rank on beetles. We also have insects in Serendia and plants, which includes pumpkin ghosts. Okay, there's quite a bit more going on here than I had originally thought. These tiny bees are ridiculously hard to see. I have to move my camera down so I can kind of see their outline. See their little swarm on the backdrop of like the sky. Makes it a little bit easier to see them. There's the mountain sheep S rank, so that's all the lambs done for this section. I just gotta get a couple more S ranks for the cuckoo birds over here. I think the rest of them are in southern Serendia. I also forgot that I have these 2 GM's lucky boxes, so we're gonna open both of these and see what we get. A spellbound toolbox. And a whale tendon potion. Spellbound toolbox gives me one of the following. Magic. Okay. That's pretty good. So I walked over to Zarka to go and get the knowledge of this area. And just gathering knowledge over here. And I noticed that these Serendia Shrine wizards and warriors, they all are purple. So I think they might actually be pretty decent for EXP for me. I'm curious to see what kind of drops that they have. If they have any at all, because maybe they drop something good. And just as I say that, there's a level. Nice. And there's level 39. Very nice. Got the Spider Hater title. Just out here doing some knowledge gaining. Alright, so I mentioned before that there was nothing I could do about this horse. Well, we are going to do something about this horse. 206 mil. Alright? 206 mil. We're selling it. It's going. It's gone. We are selling the Dream Horse. Okay. Dream Horse is sold. Now, here's what we're going to do. Dream Horse has officially been sold. We're going to run over here to Mr. Trying Underfoe over here. We're going to go to the Cron Stones. Actually, we'll just grab these Mirrors of Equilibrium. We'll buy 10 for 200 mil. All right. Let's buy 2 Cron Stones. That is 206 mil. Exactly. All right. So we have 2 Cron Stones. We are going to delete these 10 Mirrors of Equilibrium. So there's those 10 Mirrors of Equilibrium officially deleted. One last thing, we got to put these crons away, grab 2, and we are deleting those 2. And with that, we have officially gotten rid of that Dream Horse. I've been going through these main quests in Serendia, and I keep getting these Naru pieces of gear. I know that they sell for 1,000 silver, but every single time I get one, I'm just gonna delete it. And we just finished exploring Serendia. We are completely done. Going to be cooking for the time being, and I split up my storage a little bit. I put a bunch of my like Blackstone's enhancing materials, all my buffs and stuff inside the Heidel storage. There's definitely significantly more storage in Heidel than there is in Velia. I'll probably be moving stuff around at some point again as well. But for now, we'll just keep cooking along in Velia. We just killed Zarka. Didn't get too much. I did get a Harfia crystal. That's pretty much about it. But I'm just here as well, collecting the rest of the knowledge in this area while I'm here. But we are going to be going to Zarka a lot. There's some pretty good drops that I can get from here. Now that we're done with the main storyline all the way up through Serendia, the next one is Delph Castle, which is in Calpheon. We've got to finish up these quests. We still got a good portion of stuff to do knowledge-wise around this zone. I still gotta get Zarka kill. I did get a Mudster kill earlier today, so that knowledge has been completed. And then titles and finishing up some of these quests here. So there's definitely still quite a bit to do. But we are starting to get through it. Thank you so much for watching this video. It's taken me a little while to get this video out, but the next videos should start to come out much quicker. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next video. See you next time.